yung boses ko. Okay. So we will start. Ano ba yung lesson natin for this day? Okay. So yung lesson po natin sa Module 4, 5, and 6 are all different, but makikita nyo later on kung ano yung pagkakapareho nila. Okay? So we have quartile for module number 4. We have decile for module number 5. And we have percentile for module number 6. But all of this are ungrouped. Okay? Ungrouped data, yung isosolve natin yung quartile, decile, and percentile. Meaning, when we say ungrouped data, they are not organized. They are not classified. Okay? So, these are the data na usually is lower, yung number nila is lower than 30. Baka kunwari 10 data lang na meron tayo, 20 scores. Okay? For example, scores of 10 students, yung mga ganong klase ng sitwasyon na mas mababa lang yung numero ng data na meron is what we call the ungrouped, as long as it is not organized and it is not classified. Okay? So of course, we will start with quartile. Okay, yung quartile. So ano yung kinalaman ng median kanina dun sa magiging lesson natin ngayon? Yung median kanina, as you can see, kinuha natin yung middle score. Now, itong tatlong to is what we call, bago ko sabihin yung tawag sa kanila. Yung haba. Mobra ako sana. So let's say ito yung data na sagad sa dulo. So yan yung data natin. Ito yung gitna niya. And this is what we call, over naman ako sa pag-shade. Saan ba yung pen niya? Ito yung gitna ng data natin, and this is what we call the median. At alam natin na yan yung gitna because median is the middle score. So as you can see, gitna lang yung alam natin dito, no? Ganon din sa measures of central tendency. We are looking for that number na magiging representative ng lahat ng data na meron tayo. Okay? So yun po yung pinaka reason why we are looking for the measures of central tendency, which is the mean, median, mode. While here in module 4, 5, 6, we are not just after the middle score or middle score that represents all of the data that we have, but we are looking at the position of a certain data. Like for example, binigay sa inyo lahat ng score ninyo sa math. Kumari, 1 to 15, yung quiz ninyo, alam na ninyo lahat ng score, and you wanted to know if ilan sa mga classmates mo yung mas nataasan mo yung score. Okay, let's say, nandito yung score mo. Sa position na to. Pang ilang position yan? In terms of quartile, in terms of decile, and in terms of percentile. How many of your classmates is below you? How many of your classmates has a score above your score? So, dito, parang median din kasi you are locating the center. Pero dito, ang gagawin natin, we are not just locating the center, but instead, we are locating the position of a given data or a score in the given data. So, pinag-uusapan natin dito position when it comes to module 4, 5, 6. Kaya nga, ang tawag po dyan sa tatlong yan ay measures of position. Because you are measuring the position of a certain data. Is it above the average? Is it below the average? Is it in the first quartile, third decile, 30th percentile, and so on? Later, malalaman nyo ano yung mga sinasabi ni ma'am na first quartile. Ano yung sinasabi ng mga third decile. Okay, ano yung mga sinasabi niya na 30th percentile. Okay? So let us start first with our quartile. Okay. So when we say quartile, ito yung data natin. Okay? So, nandyan yung data natin. Naka-arrange siya kasi unang step, katulad ng median, ay i-arrange. Pangalawa ay i-locate. Pangatlo is to, sobra yung trick ko. Pangatlo is to determine the data. So una, arrange muna. Let us say that we have here different data that is arranged in ascending order. Okay? So kapag naka-arrange na siya, yung gitna, of course, that is the median. Yan yung middle score. Okay? Now, how about for quartile? For quartile po kasi, we have here different data and they are divided into 4 equal parts. So let us say ito yung middle value. Pag middle value lang hinahanap mo, ang tinitingnan mo lang ay yung gitna na posisyon. But when it comes to quartile, you are dividing, or we are dividing the data into 4 equal parts. So mangyayari dyan, magkakaroon ng 3 points here. Ito yung mga yun. Okay? And we call this the first quartile. This is the second quartile. And this is the third quartile. Yung first quartile is, we call that as the upper. Ay, no. Not the upper. Kasi nasa bababa siya. Okay? So we call that the lower quartile. Yung Q sub 3 is what we call the upper quartile. And the middle is what we call the median. Okay? So in quartile, you are dividing, or we are dividing the data into 4 equal parts. And then we have here the points that separates the data from the other. This is Q sub 1, this is Q sub 2, and Q sub 3. Other names of this is the lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile. Okay? So when we say quartile, we are dividing the data divided into 4 parts, 4 equal parts. Okay? Now, paano ba natin siya isi-solve? Meron tayong formula for this. And bago ko ipakita yung formula, I want you to look at first yung data na meron tayo dito. So, si first quartile po ay nasa 1/4 part ng data. Si median ay nasa 1/2 part. Okay? Sabi natin, 1/4. And si third quartile ay nasa 3/4 part. So, bakit ko pinapakita sa inyo itong mga fractions na to? Because this is also something to do with finding or locating the data that we have. Remember sa median, ang ginagamit nating formula is n plus 1 divided by 2. So dahil ang Q sub 2 natin ay median, we can say that Q sub 2 is also equal to n plus 1 divided by 2. Okay? Which is true. Q sub 2 is equal to n plus 1 divided by 2. Paano yun? Paano natin makukuha yung formula for Q sub 1? Pansinin nyo, Yung nasa gitna is 1/2. Meron tayong 1/2 dito. This is also equal to 1/2 times n plus 1. Okay, inayos ko lang. How about for q sub 1? May n plus 1 din po siya, pero what should be our fraction here? Guerrero. What should be our fraction? Si q sub 2 kalahati siya, di ba? Eh si q sub 1. Guerrero. Diyan pa kayo? Valladolid.
Bakit po,
Si q sub 2, 1/2. How about si q sub 1? Valladolid,
1/4.
1/2?
1/4 lang.
Yan, 1/4. Tama. The answer is 1/4 po. So, ibig sabihin, wait lang, close ko lang tong participants. So, ibig sabihin po, yung magiging fraction ko dito is 1/4. And if we simplify this, we simply get n plus 1 divided by 4. Okay? So, if that is the case, ano naman po for q sub 3? If this is the 1/4 of the data, yung q sub 1, si q sub 2 is 1/2 of the data, how about si q sub 3?
3/4 po, ma'am.
Opo. So, you are looking for the 3/4 of the data. Or, pwede rin natin siya isulat ng ganito para mas madali. Okay? So, I prefer using this kesa dun sa isa. Kasi mostly, nalilito yung mga student dito. Depende ha. Pero kung kayo ay hindi, you may also use this. Pareho lang naman yan. Okay? Pinagsama ko lang sila into one fraction. Okay? Si 1/2, nanggaling talaga siya kay 2/4 n plus 1. Okay? So yun po yung reason bakit siya naging 1/2. Kasi if you get the lowest term of 2/4, that's 1/2, right? So, pinakita ko lang. Saan ka naman? Yan. Ngayon, kung susundan natin yung formula na meron tayo, magkakaroon tayo ng general formula. Turahin ko muna to. Ano po yung general formula natin? Yung general formula natin for quartile is have Q, and may makita nyo dito, may mga sub siya, no? Sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, and we represent that sub as letter K. And then, dito makikita nyo, meron dito 1, kaya lang since any number that is multiplied to 1 is equal to itself, hindi na natin sinalagay, no? Pero dapat may 1 talaga yan. Which represents your K. Ito, meron din siyang 2 dyan. Tapos dito 4. Kung ni lowest term naging 2 to, ito naging 1. Right? So, kaya siya naging 1/2 na lang. And ganun din to. Dito kitang-kita that your K is here and also here, divided by the parts. So for quartile, we can say that we have K times n plus 1 divided by 4. Bakit siya divided by 4? Because when we say quartile, it is divided by 4 parts. So this is the general form for our quartile. Kaya ako to pinakita sa inyo kanina kasi para matandaan nyo po ano po yung formula na gagamitin ninyo when it comes to quartile. You have to understand that you are getting 1/4 of the data dito sa Q sub 1, you are getting 1/2 of the data dito sa Q sub 2. You are getting the data that represents the 3/4 of the data. Okay? So let us start, no? Gamit tayo ng data. So una, iba natin to. So we have 4, 11, 15. So let's say these are the scores of the students in a certain quiz. 8, 13, 7, 6, 10, 10, 11, 12. So ilan yung data natin? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 data. So una, again, we have to arrange. Gigilid ko lang ng konti. So first step, laging unang step natin is to arrange the data. So kapag in-arrange natin yung data, anong gagawin natin? Siyempre yung lowest number muna. And that is 4. We have 4. Sunod sa 4, we have 6. Then we have 8. And after that, we have 10, 10, 11, 11. Iwasan muna natin may mauulit. Gawin natin tong 11. Oops. Palitan ko yung data, ha? Natin tong 11. So, 12. So, 13. Yan. So, we have 10, 11. And we have 12, 12, 13. 13. May naulit pa rin, pasaway. Sabi ko, wala nang uulitin eh. Natin tong 14. Yan. Para mabawasan man yun na ulit. Tapos, 15. Ay, hindi ko nalagay si 7. Diba? Siya nalagay. So, lagyan natin siya dito. 4, 6, 7. So, these are the data that is arranged in ascending order. Now, we are going to look for the lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile. Or should I say Q sub 1, Q sub 2, and Q sub 3. Okay, unahin muna natin yung Q sub 2. Kasi yung Q sub 2 madali, yung median, di ba? So that's n plus 1 divided by 2. Our n here is, ilan po ba yung data natin? Kanina, sabi ko, 11. So we have 11 plus 1 divided by 2. And that is 12 divided by 2. We have 6. Okay, so we are done arranging. We are now locating. Locating what? We are locating the position. So nandun siya sa 6th position or 6th data. Alin ba dyan ang pang-anim? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we can say that our Q sub 2 is equal to 11. And this is the final answer. Ano yung ginawa natin sa part na yon? We determine. So una, in-arrange muna natin. Ito yung step na yon. Yan, ito yung step na yon. Pangalawa, nilocate natin. Ito yung step na yan. And pangatlo, dinetermine natin. At ito yon. Okay? Dinetermine natin anong data yung pang 6th. So same process. Then sa Q sub 1 at sa Q sub 3. So we have here the formula. Ano yung formula natin? That's 1/4 So, ibig sabihin, that's n plus 1 divided by 4. N plus 1 is 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. Or should I say that it is the third position, third data? So we can say that our first quartile is 1, 2, 3, ito, which is 7. Okay, so this is our first quartile. Ito yung second quartile. How about for the third quartile? So ganun din, that's 3/4. So meron tayong 3 dito times n plus 1 divided by 4. So we have 3 times 12 divided by 4, which is equal to, pwede na tayo dito mag-cancel out ng 3 to 1. So 3 times 3 is 9. So ibig sabihin, nasa 9th position yung ating Q sub 3. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9th position, and that is 30. So mapapansin niyo po, etong tatlong to, sila yung tatlong data na naghiwalay dun sa ating mga data into 4 equal parts. Paano po nangyaring 4 equal parts? Pansinin niyo yung dami ng data dito. Dalawa. Dito, dalawa. Dito, dalawa din. And dito, dalawa din. So, meron silang tamang pagkakahati ng data. Kung po yung reason bakit kinukuha natin yung Q sub 1, Q sub 2, and Q sub 3. O, kunwari yung score na nakuha nyo ay 13. Ikaw yung Q sub 3. Ibig sabihin, 3/4 of your classmates, nataasan mo yung score. Kunwari 11 lang kayo magkakaklase, 3/4 sa classmates mo ay mas mababa ang score sa'yo. Okay? Yun po yung ibig sabihin nun. Eh paano kung ikaw yung median? Ibig sabihin kalahati ng kaklase mo, mas mababa yung score sa'yo, at kalahati ng kaklase mo ay mas mataas naman ang score sa'yo. That's why we are looking for the position of each data or first, second, and third quartile natin, because we are after dun sa pag-identify kung 1/2 of it nasa higher score, 1/4 of it got the lowest score, and so on. Okay? And it always depends on the data that we have. So ito po yung steps on how to get the quartile of a given data. Let us have another example. So another example po, i-arrange ko na siya ha. So done na tayo sa arrange. I-arrange ko na siya. So we have, kunwari, these are the ages na nagpo-positive sa COVID-19. So 20, 22, 25, 27, 28, 28, 30. Okay? Now, we are going to locate ano yung first quartile or nasan yung first quartile, yung second, and yung third. We don't usually get the Q sub 4. Bakit? Kasi yung last data, mostly yun yung Q sub 4. Kadalasan lang po ng kinukuha natin is Q sub 1, Q sub 2, and Q sub 3. Okay? So ano munang step? Siyempre, you have the formula. Since this is 1/4, so that's n plus 1 divided by 4. Ang n natin dito ay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bakit 7? Dagdagan natin ng isa. Gusto ko 8. Yan. So, 8 plus 1 divided by 4. About dito, we have 8 plus 1, that's 9, divided by 2. Dito naman, we have 3 times 9 divided by 4. Okay, so we have here 9 divided by 4. 9 divided by 2. Ito, how about this? We have 3 times 9, 27 divided by 4. Sige nga, pakisolve nga po ano yung answer dito. 9 divided by 4. What is 9 divided by 4?
2.25.
Okay, so that's
25.
2.25, correct? Now, how about for 9 divided by 2? 4 point? 4.5 po?
4.5. 4.5 po.
Correct. How about use of 3? 27 divided by 4?
6.75.
6.75.
6.75,
75.
correct. Tama. So now we have the position. Yan siya may TH because it determines the position. We are done arranging, we are done locating. Ngayon, i-determine naman natin ano yung data na nasa position na yun. But as you can see, meron tayo ditong 0.25, 0.75. Si 0.5, okay lang yan kasi ano, mag-a-add divide by 2 lang tayo niyan. Pero how about yung 0.25? Diba? Dapat very accurate din yung paghanap natin ng answer dyan. Angat ko lang po si Q sub 2 ha. Pati si Q sub 3. Para magkaroon tayo ng space sa ating solution. 9 yan ha. 9. Wow, ganda ng 9 ko. Ayusin ko nga. Yan. Dapat kasi makuha natin yung tamang answer dito. We are done locating. Ang magiging problem na lang natin dito, not a problem. Next step is to determine the data. So, pag ganyan po yung naging data ninyo, nagkaroon ng point something, hindi na siya exact, ang gagawin nyo po, gagamit po kayo ng Mendenhall and Sinsich method. Or, of course, hindi lang yan yung hindi lang yan yung pwedeng gamitin na method, no? Gagamit din kayo ng isa pang method. And that is what we call the linear interpolation. Linear interpolation. Ano ba yung Mendenhall and Sinsich? When we say Mendenhall and Sinsich, ang pinaka-keyword dito is you are rounding off. It's either rounding up or rounding down. When we say linear interpolation, you are simply computing the exact value. Okay? While in Mendenhall and Sinsich, you are rounding off. Pwedeng round up or round down. Okay? So, unahin muna natin yung mas madali. Mas madali po kasi itong sa bandang Mendenhall and Sinsich. Mas madali siya in a way na, syempre, mag-round up ka or round down. Kaya lang, it will not give you the exact value that you need to have. Okay? While in linear interpolation, because you are computing, you tend to get the exact value. Okay? So, doon muna tayo sa madali. Di tayo sa Mendenhall. So, as you can see, Q sub 1 is 2.25 or in the 2.25th position. Si Q sub 2 ay nasa 4.5th position. Si Q sub 3 ay nasa 6.75th position. Si Mendenhall po, base sa kanyang method, pakita ko dito sa susunod na slide. Kay Mendenhall, ulat ko ulit yung name niya, and Sinsich, yung method po nila, they are determining the value, the middle value. And this is the Q sub 2 or the median, right? Now, ang technique nila, ang method nila in getting the measure or the Q sub 1 and Q sub 3 or the upper and lower quartile is for them to round up. Anong i-round up nila? Ang i-round up nila ay yung nandito sa lower part. Or should I say, yung nasa left part ng ating data, lower scores. Kung nasaan nandun si Q sub 1, ano ang ginagawa dito? Nagra-round up. While in the upper part, kung nasaan nakalocate si Q sub 3, hindi sila nagra-round up, but instead, they are rounding down. So, ibig sabihin, kapag si Q sub 1 mo ay nasa 4 point, kunwari nasa 4.5th position. Kunwari lang to example lang yan. So, kunwari nasa 4.5th position yung Q sub 1 nyo. Ang magiging position niya ay 5th data. So, let's say na ang pang 5th data mo ay 25. So, yung 25 yung data na kukunin mo. For example, your first quartile is in the position of 3.2. 3. Nilagyan ko ng TH. 3.2nd or TH stands for the position. Now, ang magiging position po ng inyong first quartile ay yung 4th kasi mag-round up. Paano kapag ang Q sub 1 mo ay nasa 7.4 position? Siyempre, ang Q sub 1 mo dyan magiging 8. Kahit na anong number yung nasa decimal mo, you are going to round up. Okay. While, if you are on the upper part, which is the Q sub 3, and your position is 4 point, let's say 9.7 first position, magre-round down tayo. So instead na dapat 10 na yan, di ba? Yung Q sub 3 mo ngayon nasa 9th position. Paano kapag ang Q sub 3 ko ay nasa 11.4th first position? Now, dahil mag-round down ako, ang Q sub 3 kong ngayon ay nasa 11th position. So whether anong kasunod na decimal, mag-round down tayo. Okay? So yun yung pinagkaiba niya. Yung nasa left side, laging round up yan. Kung saan nandun si Q sub 1. And yung nasa right side, kung saan nandun si Q sub 3, ay mag-round down. Okay? So, paano yung dito? Yung Q sub 1 natin. Anong gagawin natin sa Q sub 1? Round up or round down? Anong gagawin natin sa Q sub 1? Si Q sub 1 ay nasa lower part. So, instead of 2.25, ano pong posisyon ng Q sub 1 natin? Guerrero? Sino pa kayo? Ano po? Mamili kayo. Nasa second position siya o nasa third? Guerrero? Narinig niyo ba ako?
Opo.
Opo. So, nasa ang position siya? Pang second o pang third?
Pang third po, ma'am.
Okay, so ganito. Lagi niyong tatandaan that Q sub 1, round up agad. Q sub 3, round down. So, tama yung sagot ng classmate nyo na si Q sub 1 natin ay nasa third position. Okay? How about yung Q sub 3? Nasa ang position siya? 6 o 7?
6 po, ma'am.
6 po. Tama. Kasi, again, pag dito, round down. Dahil Q sub 3 yan. Sa Q sub 1, round up. Okay? Pauso ko lang ito ng konti kasi sumobra tayo sa linya. Round down. Ganun linya ko naman. Yan. Okay? So, alin yung nasa third position? 1, 2, 3, 25. So, ito yung Q sub 1 mo. Ito yung Q sub 1. So, Q sub 1 is equal to 25. We are now determining the data. How about yung Q sub 3? Q sub 3 is in the sixth position. 3, 4, 5, 6. Q sub 3. Okay. So, Q sub 3 is 28. How about si Q sub 2? Sabi lang kasi, mag-round up si Q sub 1, mag-round down si Q sub 3. How about Q sub 2? Ang maganda dito, yung kay Q sub 2, ganun pa rin. Parang sa median pa rin talaga. That you have to add the two middle scores and then divide it to 2. So, ang Q sub 2 natin ay 27 plus 28 divided by 2. And that gives us, anong answer natin dito?
27.5 po.
Correct. So that is 27.5. So our Q sub 2 is 27.5. At wait lang, baba ko lang tong. At nandito po siya sa gitna ng dalawa. That is our Q sub 2. Okay? Naintindihan? Pero pansinin niyo po, hindi po pantay-pantay yung pagkakahati ng ating data. And that is the downfall of the Mendenhall. Or should I say the disadvantage of the Mendenhall and Sinsich method. Kasi hindi equal parts na nahati, hindi nahati into 4 equal parts yung ating data. So yun yung disadvantage na sa tingin ko nung Mendenhall and Sinsich method. Okay? So yun naman yung hindi ko gusto when it comes to this method. Pero, to save it from that disadvantage, meron tayong another way on how to get the data that we need for Q sub 1, Q sub 3. Okay? And that is linear interpolation. And it is widely used because it will give you the exact value, exact data for that quartile. Okay? So, ano yung ginagawa dito? Let us say that you have Q sub 1, which is 2.25 or 2.25th position. Yung 0.25 dyan is very important because you have to solve for the exact value na nire-represent ng 0.25. And how do we get that? We will get that by identifying which two data ang pinagigitnaan ng 2.25. So, ibig sabihin dito, ang pinagigitnaan niya kasi ay yung second data at yung third data, right? Nasa gitna siya ng dalawang to. Ngayon, una mo munang kukunin ay yung smaller value or smaller data. Ibig sabihin yun yung second. Ito yung pangalawang data. Ano yung pangalawang data natin? That is 22. Sulat ko ulit dito sa baba yung data ha. We have 20, 22, 25, 27, 28, 28, 30, 30. So we have the second data, that is 22. A-add natin siya ngayon sa 0.25. Pero sabi ko, kanina, i-compute natin yung exact value ng 0.25 na yan. Saan po? Doon po sa difference nilang dalawa. Ano yung pang third data natin? Ang pang third data natin ay 25. I-minus natin ngayon doon yung pang second data. So, ano yung magiging difference nila? Ang difference po nila ay 3. I-multiply natin siya ngayon dun sa 0.25 para makuha natin yung exact 25 or 0.25 no, na binabanggit dito sa position. And 0.25 times 3 is equal to 0.75. Ibig sabihin, yung pang 0.25 natin dito, na nasa position natin, ay yung 0.75 na kailangan natin i-add dun sa ating smaller data, and that is 22. So we have 22.75. At yung 22.75 po na to ay yung exact value or data na nasa 2.25th position. Okay? So we can say that our Q sub 1 is equal to 22.75. So after we locate, nakuha natin yung position. After locating that, of course, we have to solve for the value of the Q sub 1. And that is done by adding the second data plus the 0.25 ng difference ng second at third, kung saan pumapagit na yung Q sub 1 natin. And we have 22.75. May question po dito. Kung may question, itanong na. Kung wala, let me proceed.
Wala
How about
pong
for
tanong.
Okay, buti na. Oh. Oh. Hello? Now we have Q sub 2, which is 4.5 or 4.5. Ito, madali lang din. Ganun din. We have ang apat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 27 plus 0.5. Ay, ulitin ko. Ang pangat ng sulat ko. That is 27 plus 0.5 times 28 minus 27. So, ganun pa rin yung answer natin dito. That is 27.5. And that is very accurate. So how about for Q sub 3? Ito na natin siya ilagay. No? So Q sub 3 natin is 6.75th position. So nasa pagitan siya ng pang 6 at pang 7. So doon muna tayo sa 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 28 plus yung 0.75 times anak na daw siya. Ay, bakit si Sarah yan? Oversize. Baka ganun din yung dati. So we have 0.75 times difference nila, that's 30 minus 28. So we have 28 plus 0.75 times 2. Now, that is 28 plus 1.50 or 1.5, pwede rin 1.5. Ba't di ko makita? Bubura lang naman ako. Gusto ko lang naman magbura. Yan. So we have 29.5. So Q sub 3 here is 29.5. Okay. So mostly, ang ginagamit po natin is linear interpolation. Bakit? Kasi siya yung exact. Paano nasabing exact? As you can see, si Q sub 1 natin is 22.75. Nandito siya. Nandito siya sa posisyon na to. Yan, siya. Si 27.5 ay nandito sa posisyon na to. At si 29.5 ay nandito sa posisyon na to. And as you can see, yung mga data natin equally divided. Dalawa, 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 dalawa. Nandito si Q sub 1, nandito si Q sub 2, nandito si Q sub 3. Diba? So, kaya kadalasan ang ginagamit ko is linear interpolation because the data are divided into 4 equal parts. At yun po yung ibig sabihin natin when it comes to quartile. Okay? So let's have another example ng linear interpolation. So let us have this data. Meron tayong 10, 13, 14, 20, 27, 16, 18, 19. Okay. So una, arrange muna natin ilan ba ito? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yet. Dagdagan natin ng isa. Kasi sasakto yan eh pag 8. No, tama na pala yan. Pag-add pala hindi sasakto. Pansinin nyo, no? Pag even yung number ng data, ang tendency nagkakaroon tayo ng point something sa mga position. Pero pag-add, pag quartile, sakto lang. Okay, kunwari 11 siya. Di ba nagpa-plus 1 tayo, tapos magde-divide sa 4. Sakto siya kasi nagiging even dahil nag-add tayo ng 1. Pag even, kunwari 12, at nag-add ka ng 1, di ba nagiging 13, tapos magde-divide ka sa 4, ang mangyayari, nagkakaroon ng decimal. Right? So, pansinin nyo, kapag even, nagkakaroon ng decimal yung position. Kasi nag-add tayo ng 1, tapos magde-divide ka sa 4, magkakaroon ng decimal. Right? So, dito, I gave you an even number of data. So, doon muna tayo sa Q sub 1. Dahil, hindi pa pala ito naka-arrange. Hindi ko pala siya in-arrange. So, start tayo sa 10. We have 10, then we have 13, then we have 14. Alam ko na-arrange ko na siya. Then we have 16, 18, 19, 20, 27. Yan, ako na natin mo. Then after that, of course, we have to solve for Q sub 1. And Q sub 1 is equal to n plus 1 divided by 4. Ang n natin dito ay 8. So n is equal to 8. So 8 plus 1 divided by 4. We have 9 divided by 4. Ay, pareho pala ito ng kanina, no? Dagdagan natin ang data. Dagdagan natin ang data kasi para mag-iba naman. So, ang data natin, hindi na 8, 9, 10, 10 na yung data natin. So, 10 plus 1, 10 plus 1, that is 11. 11 divided by 4 is
2.75.
2.75. Correct. So, ano yung gagawin natin dyan? Nasa pagitan siya ng second at third position. So, Q sub 1 natin is equal to the second data plus yung 0.75 ng difference nilang dalawa. 14 minus 13. Okay? So, ano yung magiging answer natin dito? This is 13 plus 0.75 times 1, which is also 0.75. So that is 13.75, and that is our Q sub 1. Okay. How about for Q sub 2? Q sub 2 is 11 divided by 2. That is 5.5. So, our 5.5 position. So, our Q sub 2 is nasa pagitan ng 16 and 18. So, 16 plus 18 divided by 2. Pwede na yan kasi Q sub 2 naman yan. Media naman yan. Tama ba ako? 5 ba yan? Pang 5. Ay, hindi pala 18 tsaka 16. That's 18 and 19 pala. 18 plus 19. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, pagitan siya nito tsaka nito. Okay? So, that gives us 18.5. That's our answer. So, Q sub 2 is 18.5. Now, how about for Q sub 3? Q sub 3 is, of course, 3 times 11 divided by 4. That is 33 divided by 4. Anong answer dito?
8.25.
8.25, correct. So, 8.25 yan. Ano magiging number natin dyan? So, that's 8 position and then 9 position. So, alin yung pang 8 natin? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ba yan? Ang pangit ng 27, 27. Palitan nga natin yan. Nakakainis naman yan. Gawin natin itong 29, tapos ito 30. Para meron man lang 29. Tapos ito 30. Nakakainis eh. Pagkapareho, para hindi pareho, binago ko. So, mangyayari, we have the 8th position, 6, 7, 8. That is 27. Plus 0.25 of 29 minus 27. Okay? So 27 plus 0.25 times 2. Sino kasama niya? Sino lang dalawa? Okay. So we have 27 plus 0.50 or 0.5. That will also do. So our Q sub 3 is equal to, tama na equal ko, 27.5 or 27.50. Pwede rin. Ayan. So that is our way of getting the quartiles, the first, the second, and the third quartile. Buksan mo kayo ng konti. Tapos may butas. Tapos mo. Ano ka na kasama? Naintindihan na to? Na-screenshot na? Pwede na tayo mag-move?
Opo.
Opo. Okay. Move na tayo. Now, ganun po yung way on how to get the quartile. At ganun na ganun din po yung way on how to get the percentile and the decile. So let us have another set of examples. Okay. So, kunwari, ang data natin ay 30, 35, 38, 40, 47, 49, 40, 49 ulit, 50, 56, 70. So, kunwari yan data natin. Ilan ba yan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, dagdagan lang natin. 74. Yan yung tipin sa green. Yan. Okay. Now, let us look for the upper quartile, which is Q sub 3. The decile, dalawang decile kukunin natin at dalawang percentile. So bago natin gawin yon, banggitin ko muna sa inyo ano ba yung decile at percentile. Para mas maintindihan nyo. Okay? So again, when we say quartile, we are dividing the data into 4 equal parts. Kapag decile po, at percentile, syempre iba. Iba yung dami bilang ng parts. Okay? Kung ilang parts. So when we say decile, ang kinaibahan niya sa quartile is that, sabi nga, decade. How many parts ba when we say decile? Parang decade din, 10 years. So this is 10 parts. How about percentile? Ilan kaya? Ilang parts kaya? Pag percentile, ilang parts? Hello? Wala pa kayo? Diyan pa kayo?
Opo.
Ilang parts pag percentile? Alam na alam nyo to, percentile. Kung ito 4, ito 10, ito 1%.
100 po.
100.
Opo, correct.
100.
That's 100. So kapag quartile po, 4 parts. Kapag decile, 10 parts. Pag percentile, 100 parts. Now, ang formula natin for quartile is Q sub K is equal to K times N plus 1 divided by 4. Bakit siya divided by 4? Because it's 4 parts. Now, ganun din po kapag kay decile. May K din, K times N plus 1, pero yung denominator niya is divided by 10. Kasi nga 10 parts. Now, how about for percentile? So, ganun din po, may sub-K din siya. Depende kung ano yung pinapahanap sa inyo. And divided by 100 siya kasi 100 parts. Okay? So, yung K natin, like for example, Q sub 3, ang K natin yung 3. Okay. Paano pag 7th decile, D sub 7, ang K natin ay 7. So ano magiging formula natin pag ganito? Di ba ganito yung ginagawa natin kanina? Pag decile, ay pag quartile. Paano pag decile, ang K mo ay 7? So that's 7 times n plus 1 divided by 10. Eh paano kung ang pinapahanap sa'yo ay ano yung 90th percentile? Ang K mo ay 90 times n plus 1 divided by 100. Okay? So, ganyan po paano gamitin yung formula. At dahil alam nyo na si quartile, madali na lang sa inyo makuha yung decile at yung percentile. Okay? Napakadali na lang no kasi you already know what is quartile. Okay? So yan po yung pagkakapare-pareho nila, pare-pareho silang may sub k and pare-pareho sila ng numerator na k times n plus 1, pero nagkakaiba lang po sila sa denominator kasi magkakaiba ng bilang yung hati sa kanila. Or should I say yung hati sa data. Pag quartile, 4 na parts, sinahati yung data. Kapag decile, 10 parts, sinahati yung data. And pag percentile, 100 parts, sinahati yung data. Yung data na meron tayo. Okay? So, may nakalimutan pala akong banggitin dito sa sa quartile. Mamaya na lang pag natapos na tayo lahat. Kasi sayang yung momentum. So, let's say that we are looking for the upper quartile, D sub 7. Let's say D sub 7 to. D sub 4, P sub 80, tawag 80. Kung tayo sa P sub 90, yan, 90. And dito, P sub 30. So, ano yung magiging formula niyan? Alam nyo na yan. This is 3 times n plus 1 divided by 4 kasi quartile. Pag decile, divided by 7. 10. So, ito naman 4 times n plus 1 divided by 10 also kasi tayo ay nasa decile. Pag percentile naman, we have 90 times n plus 1 divided by 100. And pag 30 naman, we have 30 times n plus 1 divided by 100 also. Okay. So, substitute na lang natin yung n. Ilan ba yung n natin? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, 12. So, 3 times 12 plus 1 divided by 4. Sa D sub 7 natin, magkakadugtong na sila pero dapat hiwa-hiwalay yan. Hindi ko na mahiwalay eh. Yan, bahala na yan. Sobrang straight ng linya ko, di ba? Yan, para mahiwalay natin sila. Okay? Para hindi kayo malito. So, 7 times 12 plus 1, which is 13. Gawin na natin 13 para dire-diretso na tayo. So, we have 4 times 13 divided by 10. Ito naman, 90 times 13 divided by 100. Ito ay 30 times 13 divided by 100. So, ano yung ginagawa natin? Isosolve natin muna yung position. Naka-arrange na siya. Ilolocate natin, then mamaya natin determine. Sige, pakikuha po yung sagot dito. 3 times 13 divided by 4. Ano po yung answer natin dito?
9.75.
9.75. Or 9.75 data. Okay, how about the others? Paano po itong D sub 7? 7 times 13 divided by 10.
9.1.
9.1. Next.
5.2.
5.2. P sub 90.
11.5. 11.7.
11.7. And yung P sub 30,
3.9.
ano po?
3.9.
Correct.
9.
So that is 3.90. Okay, so ngayon ang gagawin natin, magsasolve na tayo, no? So, ang gagawin natin dito, ang Q sub 3 natin ay equal to the 9th term plus point. So, dito tayo. 9 data. Ano pa yung 9 data? So, 9 tsaka 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50 plus 0.75 times, ba yun? Di ko siya. Times, sayang naman yung space ko. I-diretso na natin yan. Q sub 3 is equal to 50 plus 0.75 times their difference nung 9 tsaka 10. Ang pang 10 natin ay 56 at 9 natin ay 50. So that's 50 plus 0.75 times their difference, which is 6. So what is 0.75 times 6?
4.5.
4.5, correct. So ang Q sub 3 natin ay 54.5. Okay. Now, how about for D sub 7? Ang D sub 7 natin ay, wait lang. Yan. So, ang D sub 7 natin ay nasa 9.1. Ibig sabihin, ganun pa rin, 9 tsaka 10 data. So, ang 9 natin ay 50 plus 0.1 times their difference. So, 50 plus 0.1 times 6. So, this is 50 plus 50 plus ano po? 0.1 times 6.
0.6.
0.6 din po, of course. 1 times 6 is 6. So that's 50.6. Okay, so our D sub 7 is 50.6. How about for D sub 4? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 40. 40 plus 0.2 ng difference nila ni 47. O bakit ako nag-close agad? Minus 40. That is 40 plus 0.2 times 7, right? So, what is 0.2 times 7? 40 plus?
1.4.
1.4.
Correct. So, that's 40 plus 1.4 or 41.4. So, D sub 4 natin is 41.4. How about P sub 90? O, diba? Pare-pareho lang ng process. So, we have 11.7, diba? So, yung pang 11 na term. Ay, ito pala yung 11, yung 70. So, that's 70 plus 0.4 ng difference na ni 74. So, we have 70 plus 0.4 times 4. Ano yung magiging answer?
1.6.
1.6. So, 70 plus 1.6. So, P sub 90 is equal to 71.6. Okay? So, ganun lang din po yung process. How about P sub 30? Okay? How about for P sub 30? That is in the third, 1, 2, 3, 35 yon. Puso ko na lang dito. P sub 30 is equal to 35 plus 0.90 times 38 minus 35. Okay? So, 35 plus 0.9 times Gawin natin tong 0.9. 38 minus 35. Yan, para mas kita. So that's 3. 0.9 times 3 is
2.7.
2.7.
0.7, correct. So P sub 30 is 37.7. Okay? So ganun pa rin po yung process. Pare-pareho lang. Eh, paano po yung P sub 75? Sige nga, try to solve P sub 75. Ano po yung P sub 75? Ano pong position pag P sub 75? Hoy, Guerrero. Sino kayo sumagot? Ano po? Ano yung position ng pang 75th? Nagsasolve ba? Sino nagsasolve?
Ako, ma'am.
Sige.
Ma'am.
Ano po yung pang 75th? Try, para may practice na kayo.
Ma'am, pwede mag-try.
Ano po?
Pwede po mag-try.
Sige po. Ano po?
Pang ano po siya, ma'am? 9th position po.
9?
9.75 po yung ano po
Position.
niya.
Correct. P sub 75 is in the 9.75th position. So, ano yung value ng P75? Ang value nito is pareho ng Q sub 3. Ito po. Bakit? Kasi si Q sub 3 at P sub 75 ay pareho. So let us say that P sub 75 is also equal to 54.5. Okay? So ano yung mga pareho? Siyempre may mga pareho dyan. Para may idea na kayo, no? So si P sub 20, pareho sila, equal sila ni D sub 2. P sub 1, P sub 10, D sub 1. P sub 30, equal sila ni D sub 3. And so on. Okay? Until we get P sub 90, D sub 9, equal sila ni D sub 9. Ano naman yung sa quartile? Si first quartile ay equal sa P sub 25. Si second quartile equal sa P sub 50, which is also equal to D sub 5. Okay? Si third quartile ay equal naman kay P sub 75. Okay? So yan yung mga pare-pareho yung value. Naintindihan po ba? Kasi ito kalahati, ito 1/4. So 1/4 ng 25. Ang 3/4 na 100 ay 75. Ang 1/2 ay 50. So may mga tendency talaga na pare-pareho sila ng value. At ito po yung may magkakapare-pareho ng values. Okay? So, syempre kasama dyan si P sub 40, P sub 50, ay, maturo pa yun. P sub 50, P sub 60, P sub 70, P sub, palitan na natin ito, 80, 8, P sub 90, P sub 8, ay 9. Okay? Nakita niyo yung pagkakapare-pareho nila. D sub 4, D sub 5, D sub 6, D sub 7. So, yun yung mga equal. Okay? And yung nakalimutan ko pong ituro sa inyo kanina is what we call the interquartile range. Si interquartile range, kung madali lang naman yan, Q sub 3 minus Q sub 1. Ay, bakit 8? Sinasabi ko Q pero sinusuot ko 8, no? Q sub 1. Okay? Let's say your value of Q sub 3 is 19.2. Kumari lang And then your Q sub 1 is 10.5. So their difference is the interquartile range. Okay? So interquartile range. Ano po yung answer dyan? Interquartile range. Ano po yung sagot natin dyan? 19.2 minus 10.5. That is?
8.7 po, ma'am.
8.7. So the interquartile range is 8.7. Ibig sabihin nito, ano yung pagitan ng Q sub 1 at Q sub 3? So gano'ng kalaki yung pagitan nila ng dalawa? Ng Q sub 1 at ng Q sub 3. And that is what we call the interquartile range. Yan ay isusolve lang kung hihingiin sa inyo. Okay? I-screenshot ko lang dito sa phone ko para mamaya i-send ko na lang sa PC ninyo para dun sa mga hindi makakapanood ng video. Okay. So that ends our lesson for module 4, 5, and 6. We are done for module 4, 5, and 6. That is the measures of possession of ungroup data. Okay? So nakita nyo naman kanina, we use different method, but we usually use the linear interpolation. Okay? At ganoon din po pag nag-solve kayo ng inyong worksheet at ng quiz. So ang gagawin ko po ngayon ay magsa-stop sharing ako, stop recording, and then